Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. We have a little bit of good news as the price movement for XRP has bounced. It did drop down below $1, which is obviously not the ideal situation, but frankly it's not surprising. Pretty much everyone was expecting this to happen. The good news is that we have not seen a major drop below that $1 range, just a little bit below. We went down to about 99 cents. It's since come up. On the new day formation, we are seeing it down just slightly. Keep in mind that volume was fairly decent yesterday. There's nothing extraordinary. It's not like once it dropped below $1, everyone started freaking out or everybody started FOMOing in. We just saw a little bit more activity than we've seen on Monday or the weekend, which is frankly not that surprising. We didn't even see as much activity as we did back on Friday. Now, with it being down on the day here, volume is still quite low. There's a lot of room, a lot of opportunity for this to potentially make some moves. It might end up moving sideways some more, but keep an eye on it, guys. It is pretty close to $1 if it does continue to drop. Everyone might be waiting to see what happens once again. If it's going to drop below $1, might cause more people to start selling. A lot of eyes are also on the centralized exchanges to see how they react, as they might potentially put a hand into the pot and start some liquidations. So just looking at the general crypto market, we're seeing a few greens. We've got XRP, Ethereum, and BNB up. Bitcoin barely down. And Chainlink's doing pretty good. It's up 2% for the day. So from Vincent Van Code, he said, people read this and go, XRP is dead, where in fact it means XRP becomes the bridge between dozens of stablecoins. And this is because BSCN had reported Schwab's crypto research director says the XRP ledger is becoming a stablecoin network. So yeah, to just kind of reiterate here, it's being stressed that this is becoming the bridge between dozens of stablecoins. And it's very important. We need to talk about what's going on with Japan. I've been mentioning this in my videos as well. So this section is going to be a little bit more focused on what's happening with Japan, their yen, their economy. It's having a rippling effect over into other economies and also the crypto market. So I've got a few of these posts to go over, and then we'll get back more to some XRP Ripple news. The US is pushing Japan toward a decision that could break its economy. US and Japan jointly intervened to support the yen, with Japan alone reportedly spending $88 billion. It temporarily pushed the yen from nearly 164 yen to 155 yen per dollar, but it has already weakened back to 159.4 yen. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent believes Japan must raise rates again. U.S. rates remain at 3.5 to 3.75%, compared with Japan's 1%. This gap keeps the yen carry trade profitable and continues to weaken the currency. Takaichi has resisted rapid hikes over fears of hurting growth. The BOJ has already raised rates twice since she took office, but with imported inflation rising and 71% of voters unhappy with her response to living costs, another hike has become politically unavoidable. Markets now expect a possible hike in September or October. Japan has not raised rates 3 times within 12 months since 1989. And also, they can't ignore the continuing pressure. As you guys can very clearly see, we are seeing an increase for the Japanese 10-year bond yield. Japan's bonds are going parabolic. Japan's 2-year government bond yield hit 1.65% today, its highest level in 31 years. This usually only ends one way. And just looking at the general stock market there, you can see a lot of red. I don't think I see any green at all. It's a lot of red. And Japan's 2-year yield hits 1.64% for the first time since 1995. And some other news, Russia approves trading of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and USDT, but no XRP. And the question is, why is Russia excluding XRP? It's being suggested here in the comments because XRP is already implicated in Russia's banking system, and it's being highlighted here. In the first half of 2018, the Bank of Russia's Novosibirsk Innovative Laboratory conducted research on testing the possibility of cross-border settlements using the Ripple platform. And it mentions Ripple Network, XRP, Ripple, XRP. It's mentioned a handful of times there. And BRICS is discussing linking national fast payment systems and CBDCs for cross-border trade, and this is where the XRP ledger becomes extremely relevant. The XRP ledger was built for cross-currency payments. It can move value from one currency or token into another within the same payment and settle the transaction atomically. The deeper XRP connection is auto-bridging. If two currencies do not have an efficient direct market, XRPL can automatically route the payment through XRP when XRP provides the better liquidity path. Currency A to XRP, and then to currency B. XRPL documentation itself uses examples such as USD to XRP to MXN to demonstrate how XRP can function as an intermediary bridge between two different currencies. There's also a direct CBDC angle. Ripple has previously described XRP as a neutral bridge asset that can help move value between different CBDCs and currencies, while its CBDC infrastructure has been built using technology derived from the XRP ledger. So imagine multiple sovereign digital currencies needing to communicate with each other. For example, the digital rupee to XRP, and then it goes to the digital dirham. And the digital yuan going to XRP to digital real. This does not mean BRICS has chosen XRP or that any of these central banks are currently routing their CBDCs through XRP. But the underlying problem BRICS is now exploring is clear. How do you efficiently connect multiple sovereign currencies, CBDCs, and payment networks for cross-border settlement? That is precisely the type of interoperability problem the XRP ledger was designed to solve. BRICS problem: cross-border interoperability between currencies and CBDCs. XRPL capability: native cross-currency payments and liquidity routing. XRP's potential role: a neutral bridge asset connecting one currency to another when it provides the most efficient path. BRICS has not announced XRP integration, but the infrastructure they are discussing moves directly into one of XRP's strongest original use cases, bridging value across different currencies and payment systems. XRP top holders control millions as small wallets dominate. XRP rich list data shows millions of accounts hold relatively small balances. More than 4 million accounts contain between 0 and 20 XRP. Another 2.55 million accounts hold between 20 and 500 XRP. And by comparison, only 322,083 accounts hold at least 10,000 XRP. That represents roughly 4% of more than 8 million XRP accounts. Meanwhile, 8,053 accounts hold at least 275,026 XRP, placing them in the top 0.1%. The last moment of a textbook ABC correction on a 10-day time frame is coming from Dark Defender, suggesting a parabolic XRP move would be expected next week. And as mentioned, they say it's not financial advice, it's just their opinion. This is something that they do with their posts, but you know, getting different points of view on this. What do you guys think? Do you think that it's going to have an opportunity to start making a nice parabolic run here soon? 21 shares XRP ETF. The SEC 10-Q shows fund size drop in H1 2026. And the XRP holdings went from 135.5 million to 108.2 million. That's down 20%. And net assets $247.6 million down to 112.9 million. That's down 54%. That's filed with the SEC period ending June 30th, 2026. And Ripple can move forward without the Clarity Act. The uncertainty around the Clarity Act does not mean XRP's adoption has to wait. The approval of an OCC charter will grant Ripple federal legitimacy through the banking regulatory framework, which means Ripple's technology has another path forward if legislation continues to stall. The Clarity Act would provide broader regulatory clarity, but it is not the only path to institutional adoption. If it does not pass at all, the OCC charter becomes the primary vehicle for federal legitimacy. Ripple is prepared for both outcomes. And the XRP network activity surges as active addresses nearly double. And we're seen with XRP, XRP is seeing a sharp increase in network participation despite weak price action. Active addresses rose from 23,642 on August 1st to 43,543. That represents an 84.18% increase in just days, according to sentiment data shared by Ali Charts. XRP processed more than 2.8 million transactions on August 5th. That marked an 86% weekly increase and more than 81% above its 30-day average. And looking at the price movement for XRP, we do see that it's had a nice little price climb here. It is above $1, which is absolutely beautiful, sitting at about $1.02 there, and more or less holding on to that position. Not seeing a lot of movement off of this $1.02. Volume itself, we're very curious to see how that's going to progress throughout the course of the day. As it is, I'm leaning much more on the side that it might just move sideways, but there is concern that it could start dipping below $1.02, heading towards $1 again, especially as we work our way towards Friday. We have a level of support here down at $1. That's also on the Bollinger Band lower band. If we can get above $1.06, that'd be great. That's the median line. And then get above $1.12. A little bit above that is $1.13, the halfway point on the Fibonacci retracement zone. Excuse me. And then a little bit further beyond that, let's get above $1.18, about $1.19. We got $1.29. These are just previous points that could cause a second instance. Realistically, though, you really want to keep an eye on $1.40. Little stepping stones along the way. Major milestone right here, $1.40. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit that thumbs up like button. I appreciate it. God bless. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.